Okay, hold up. Check something. I should be streaming right now. Oh, okay, I should be streaming right now. Okay, there you go. I just watched my stream on YouTube just to make sure my mic was working. Anyway, hello YouTube. Yes, I know. This is very different. And no, I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about fact. I am not using StreamYard for my stream. Why? My brother did not like it, and he's forcing me to use OBS for streaming. So, and I want to try to do a stream on the Mac here, my brother's Mac, and he said, yeah, sure, but please do not use StreamYard. So I'm like, fine. Anyway, I'm using OBS. It is much cleaner. But for today, we will be doing uh Nerf, Nerf, and like the whole uh Nerf and all the brands. I don't know what I'm saying. Nerf in 2020 is 2025, making this 5 years ago, 2020. It does not feel real, especially since just ignore the ad. I don't know how to remove it. I wish I had an ad blocker. Especially since, well, oh, wait a minute. I have an error. What is this? Hold up. Is there an issue? Error. YouTube is not blank. What is going on? There's a weird issue. Not receiving enough video to maintain smooth. That's bullshit. Oh, okay. What's up, Captain Shotgun? I'll be right back. Okay, we should be good. Let me check. Yep. Okay, mic's on. Let me make this window smaller. Come on. Okay, that's as small as I can make that thing, so I'll try to ignore that. Okay, we're back. Can you guys hear me? Yep. Okay, I have the stream going on the iPad. We should be good there. So now, um, yeah, we are back. Hope you enjoy that Squid Game 2 ad thing. It was just like apparently the stream was buffering like crazy. So now that's fixed. Now we can talk. So, welcome to the YouTube live stream thingy-majig. No, no, go away. I don't want you. I need to hide this somewhere. Come on. Okay, that's good. Okay, so um, what we'll be talking about today is 2020. It is 2025. Nerf is I Nerf was 51 years old, but during this 2020 was the year I got into Nerf. The first time I gave a damn. I sort of had fun with it like in years prior, but 2020 I got into Nerf, and ever since I've stuck. It's I've been in the Nerf hobby for about 5 years. It's pretty crazy. But yes, sir. Non Squid Game. I watched it. It's a pretty good show. It's like I don't really watch much TV anymore. I used to as a kid, but like nowadays, I don't really give a damn. So, but yeah, Squid Game's all right. Yeah. So for Nerf, we'll be talking, going over everything that released in 2020. I know it hasn't been 5 years exactly for all these blasters, but we'll just generically say, it has been 5 years since many of these Nerf blasters released, and now we will be, um, yeah, we'll just talk about each and every blaster that released in 2020, and like go over like just review them. So starting off, yeah, we're on Nerf Wiki. Events that happened this year. Let's see. The New York Toy Fair was canceled due to COVID. God damn, it has been 5 years since COVID. I honestly can't believe that, but it really has. The first Hasbro PulseCon event is held online because of the pandemic. And I don't know why it's spelled endemic. It should be whatever. Crossman became its Game Face Blasters brand of dart blasters. Maybe like, what the hell's a Game Face? I'm gonna head here just cause I can. You might be like, who is this brand? Well, you may not be familiar with this blaster, which we'll get to towards the end of the stream, but you might be familiar with this blaster. Yeah, same brand, completely different blasters. So yeah, we'll get to the prime at towards the end. But other than that, uh, Yumerix, I think, began its wrecked brand of dart blasters. You might be like, what the hell's a wreck blaster? Well, we'll go to it. They are CO2 guns. They made this M4 thing and this pistol thing. In 2022, they made the Jury, which was the only one that people actually know about. After that, bro, shut up ads. Oh my god. Okay, I'll stop clicking on stuff. Alex Brands closes, Busby Toys goes independent. So Alex Brands owned Busby, and now they're like, peace. We're out. We don't exist anymore. And Busby Toys is an independent toy company. Jared's Epic Blaster Nerf Battle 5 is delayed to 2021 again, the pandemic. And Burger King has a Nerf and Super Soaker theme line of Happy Meal toys. Yes, I said Happy Meal. Uh, Several series were introduced this year, but also some were discontinued. So, without further ado, Oh wow. Okay, let me read Captain Shotgun's stuff. That don't feel right. COVID has to be like a day ago. I know, right? I was 13 back then. And it is, yeah, it has been 5 years. Yes, the game faced Prime, I think. Correct. I love my Tryon. Good. I think they made the jury. They did. Okay, I'll leave the chat on. You don't see it on screen, but yeah. Anyway, come on. Let me go to this. That. We'll be starting with Alpha Strike. And just talk about each blaster as we go along. Just cuz. Anyway, starting off, uh, we have the Alpha Strike Flight. This blaster was a piece of dog was a piece of shit. Alpha Strike in general is a shitty line that Nerf started in 2019. Lol, sorry. It's okay. The chat wasn't up when you made that, so but now it is. Uh, Alpha Strike was basically Nerf trying to become X Shot in 2019, and their blasters very affordable. They were terrible. The quality was atrocious, like even worse than Busby. And yeah, they were not very good. I have the Alpha Strike Stinger. Uh, it's okay. I have two uppercuts for some reason. I destroyed my claw or fang. I think it was called the fang. But yeah, in 2020, at the start of the year, Alpha Strike came out with two blasters, the Flight CS10 and the Hammerstorm. The Flight was basically the Alpha Strike Strife. It's basically a Strife, but made very, very cheaply. It is a terrible blaster, honestly. So, I was gonna do like a tier list type thing, but I changed my mind, and now we're just gonna talk about blasters. Meanwhile, the Hammer Storm did get recognition. This was the first time Nerf has done like a eight cylinder Hammer Prime blaster. It's basically the Alpha Strike hammer shot, but it actually got recognition despite it being also kind of crap. But it was like the first time Nerf did eight cylinders, which they'll later on do with the Trailblazer and maybe a few more blasters. I don't remember when exactly this came out, but the uppercut here would also come out sometime in 2020, and that was also a heap pile of dog shit. I don't know why I have three of them. I just don't. But yeah, it's basically a jolt without a catch. So you just slam the bottom of it and attempt to shoot at 40 FPS. Attempt, keyword. So uh-oh. But anyway, the so that exists. Wasn't very good. You could still buy them at Ollie's. I last went there, they had one left. But yeah, uppercut. Probably the worst blaster of the year. They also had two other packs, like Nerf trying to rip off X-Shot over here, with the Optic QS4 dual targeting set, which was the Optic, which was basically the Fang, but with a scope thing built on. It was still a piece of crap. And then the, oh wait, I just realized, oh shoot, actually I have to click on the links if I want to talk about the blaster, because the Optic never released by itself. Give me a sec. And this was when it was still yellow, so no, I don't want your bullshit chrome. And this was still when Alpha Strike was primarily yellow, so uh the next year it will try to copy Elite with blue and orange. But anyway, Optic QS4, another blaster of 2020. It is basically the Fang, but with like a different body shell. Um, yeah, it's still not. That doesn't make it good. But also in 2020, a lot of blasters that released with like a skeletonized grip. My Fang had a skeletonized grip, but a lot of them had this black like overlay or like cover to it to make the blaster more comfortable. It didn't help things, but it was something. And then the other pack they released was the infantry pack. This came with the optic, the stinger. I have one of these. Eh. And the Vanguard. just like the Call of Duty game, it is terrible. Oh my god, the ads. I'm so scared. Um, the Vanguard was basically a single shot blaster with a bunch of holes. I'm pretty sure it was based off like one of the sniper guns. I think it was called like the Wolf or something, or the, but it was like based off one of the snipers, and they replaced like they it kept like the key mechanism, but um here would add a bunch of extra nonsense and garbage like a foregrip, a tiny area to put your one dart, or was it two? Yeah, it shot one, and like 15 darts. Like, god damn. Yeah, it's stupid. No duh. Anyway, come on. Anyway, that was Alpha Strike. It just existed. I mean, after the first year, people stopped. After like the Flight and Hammerstorm, people just stopped caring about Alpha Strike, and then Nerf stopped caring about it. Like they sort of advertised these, but after that, everything was very radio silent. Like any release that came out after was basically like complete unknown. Like, yeah, 2021, they had like a few blasters, and they recolored all the blasters from yellow and orange, like End Strike, to blue and orange, kind of like Elite. But, um, yeah, like no announcement, and they had like a few more shitty reshells. Again, no announcement. Like, it basically, like, Nerf ghosted the series with silent releases of blasters at like Ollie's or Burlington, Ross, the discount stores, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods, Ross, Burlington. Sometimes even sometimes even like if it if it was able to make it, sometimes it can make it to Ollie's or Big Lots, but yeah, so that was Alpha Strike. Next up, what Nerf Wiki considers the cross-promotional products. Anything with a license. Fortnite's not here for some reason, actually. Is it? Oh yeah, it is, but we'll get there in a sec. So we'll talk about this guy later. Power moves. Yeah, this is just like a tradition for Nerf to do. Every year, they release a bunch of shitty Avengers blasters to tie in with like a new Avengers movie or any other Avengers thing that came out. As you see here, it's just it's a bunch of crap usually. It's stuff you put on your hands. Uh, oh man, I got like Iron Man's blaster thing. Strap it to your hand. It shoots like crap. It's basically just like a prop toy for like 5-year-olds who are super into Spider-Man. The Thor one's kind of cool, and that's kind of like the basis for like I think one of like the blasters coming years later. But yeah, just like your generic Marvel blaster that no one cares about. Also very expensive. Like god damn, 21.49. Disney Warrior Bow. Uh, what is this? The Warrior Bow. It came out in 2020. Get out here ads. It came out in 2020 to promote the Mulan live action film. Not the original, the 2020 like live action adaptation. Okay, I'll click on image. So yeah, this is a reskin of an old Rebel blaster, the Heartbreaker bow. It's basically a reskin of the this blaster. Just no Rebel branding and uh yeah, different Disney color scheme thing. All right, so there's that blaster. And now, oh boy, this was a big one for me back in 2020. Fortnite. Oh yeah, we all Fortnite had so much in 2020. Like they already started the series in 2019 with like the Scar and the tactical shotgun, suppressed pistol, etc. And 2020 was actually the year I got into Fortnite. That addiction was, oh god, I do not want to talk about it. But uh anyway, Fortnite had so much stuff at the release. Um oh shoot, actually I just realized I forgot to mention. If I go to the Fortnite rockets, I just want to look at the yes. As you see, huh? The Nerf logo is just colorless, no color. Yeah, because around this time they phased out the iconic logo from the 2000s and 2010s for this, which we still see today. Um, so yeah, I believe a few Fortnite blasters still had the colored logo, but yeah, mostly it was just like a bunch of uh. But yeah, Nerf had a new rebrand like mid 2020. I wish I could stick around, but I'm about to fall asleep. Got some type of cold or some shit. Ah, frick. Sorry, Captain Shotgun. I hope you feel better, man. Yeah, I was sick I was sick a few days ago as well. It was not good, but actually no, it was like a few weeks ago. Yeah. Well, I hope you recover. Anyway, so we have a bunch of Fortnite blasters to go over. I'll start with the Scar the reskins of the Scar. We have the AR Goosebumps here from Nerf Limited, the very first Nerf Limited blaster. I know. This was collab with Travis Scott to do that Fortnite concert. That was a pretty sick concert, but um, yeah, this blaster wasn't very good. It looked cool. But it actually shipped in like 2021 or something. It was like overpriced at $65. Uh, it was not. It looked ugly as hell in person. But yeah, it was a reskin of the ARL, which is a lot of these blasters actually. As hold up, more blast, more. Yeah, that's the kind of the shtick with Fortnite. They re-release a bunch of blasters with different skins, kind of like Fortnite. Anyway, we got a set example, the AR Ripley. It's the Scar again, but with this pretty cool skin. It was a Best Buy exclusive. Yeah, Best Buy. The last place you go for Nerf. But they also had the same thing for the rocket launcher and the suppressed pistol. Um, so yeah, that was pretty cool. They have a bunch of Jolt Ray skins. I'm not even gonna go over them, but I think it's funny. The Micro Peely here, you could still buy this today because it came with the scope revolver, like Peely scope revolver pack thing. Speaking of which, yeah, here's the scope revolver. Um, yeah, I actually really wanted this blaster back then because I thought it looked pretty cool. I never got it, but hold up. Thanks, dude. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye, Captain Shotgun. Alrighty, now I'm alone. One guy's watching. I think that's me. All right. So yeah, the scope revolver. I've actually used this at like a Nerf like party or something. They had like 20 of these. None of them have this a little optic. Trust me. In the future, uh, I believe that little optic will kind of be hard to find because nowadays, like within a year or two of like these things being sold on like eBay and Facebook Marketplace, they're always missing the optic. And they're also like beaten up too. Like when I used these at like a Nerf party, and the plastic quality was not very good. Like it felt cheap. So kind of glad I skipped on it, but like I still want it because it looks cool. Another like sort of notable release, this was at the start of the year, was the SMG-E, the tactical SMG in Fortnite. This was basically just a strife with none of the tactics in Fortnite. That's basically it. It was an overpriced strife. I have the yellow version, but that released a year later. They also have foam melee weapons. Yeah, Nerf made foam melee weapons after Enforce. But yeah, they got two for Fortnite. Basically pickaxes in the game. They got the drum gun here. This was a reskin of the Surge Fire, and apparently it wasn't good as the Surge Fire wasn't very good, and neither is the drum gun. Then we also have the bolt action sniper rifle. Come on. These were at okay. The image does not want to load. There we go. These were actually these I also really wanted, and I actually got one, or actually my brother got one for like his birthday. It was like a present from like my family. So we still have this blaster today, the yellow one, not the blue one. Though the blue one comes with more stuff, which is pretty cool. But yeah, very fun blaster to shoot. I just nowadays I rarely use it because it's pretty big and cumbersome. Um, so yeah, fun blaster. It was also very hollow, oddly enough. Like like it's heavy, but it doesn't feel like it's been like filled in and stuff. It's kind of strange. Um, the last Fortnite blasters, we have the IR infantry rifle. This was like kind of like the underdog of the Fortnite series because this blaster is actually pretty good. It was a strife-free skin, like a lot of Fortnite blasters. It was a strife-free skin, but it was actually modular. The barrel and the stock, you can actually remove them, which unlike most other blasters with these long ass barrels and stocks that would not come off, this was actually modular, which is pretty awesome. So, uh, I actually had the chance to buy this between this and the ball action sniper for my brother, and I went with the sniper. Though these are both $40, which is pretty pricey. Like for a strife reskin, like, eh. I mean, might as well get this. And lastly, the grenade launcher, the GL. Oh boy, this was a fun one. The grenade launcher, uh, it was a 6 round missile launcher. That was fun as hell. So this was really fun at the start, but over the years, it seems like so many kids who like over the years into like now in 2025, like the grenade launcher is kind of just like now it's starting to become the strong arm and the Maverick slowly, where it's always at thrift stores. Like every time I go to a thrift store, this thing's always there. I actually picked one up from a thrift store. It did not have like the shield parts on like the front and back, but mine actually came with like 3 missiles in it, which is pretty good. But kidding you not, these are always at thrift stores for like $10, and like they always are like beaten up. Clearly, kids got this for like their birthday or Christmas. Lost all the missiles, and or the missiles were destroyed since they're kind of fragile. And the parents were like, "Oh, this is big. Well, let's drop this off at Goodwill." So unfortunately, this thing, and also just not very powerful. Like the rotating mechanism is kind of annoying, but I kind of managed it. I think actually dropped mine off at the same thrift store I got it at years ago because I don't really need it anymore. Nowadays, it's kind of just a big unnecessary thing I only mess around with for 5 minutes. And because I don't have many rockets, I'd rather just use the Fortnite rocket launcher or the Thunder Blast. Still one of the best rocket launchers you can get, but how frequently you find them at thrift stores beaten up, it's just like that's not very good, unfortunately. So yeah, that was that. Uh, yeah, so like speaking in 2020 now, Fortnite hasn't done anything in 2024, so now here we are in 2025. Uh, yeah. Uh, I mean, they're just stripe-free skins and this thing. So yeah, nowadays, yeah, I don't know what else to say anymore. I'm just rambling on. Next up, oh, this is a pretty good one. The Halo MA40. Hold up, let me put this away. The Halo MA40. This was a pretty awesome thing to see, and I actually got mine like 2 years ago for Christmas. Uh, the MA40. I mean, it's the gun from Halo. That's what it is. It's it was so at the time it was so awesome seeing a Halo and Nerf gun because back then like they used Boomco and their blasters were just like eh, but with Nerf people are pretty hyped, and I mean it sort of delivered. It was just like kind of hard to find on Amazon. I got lucky with a $20 I was lucky and got it for $20 like a 5 minute sale or whatever. But yeah, the MA40 pretty fun blaster. I don't really use it a whole lot, but it's a pretty great prop blaster for Halo fans. Marvel, another shitty Marvel gun. What I am not so. Wait, is that the same Iron Man thing? Hold up. I think that's like the same Iron Man thing as this, but now you get come on. But now you get a cool mask. Yeah, Venomize Iron Man. So Venom and Iron Man. I don't know how this fits in MCU. So yeah, you have that thing. You have the Overwatch Tracer Blaster. I think these were like two. I don't think these were widely available in 2020, but around like 2021 or so, these like got pretty. These were like at Ross's everywhere at Ross, but I don't think it was widely available back in 2020. But yeah, this blaster existed. It's like the last Overwatch blaster. And then what the heck? Power Rangers. Yeah, Nerf and Power Rangers. I didn't know that I didn't know we needed that, but here you got this four-shot bow thing. That's pretty cool. Um, that's all I gotta say about it. Yeah. Next up is we got Star Wars. We got the Bounty Hunter Blaster. It's a retheme, which is basically a re-release of what was that one blaster called? Uh, it was a re-release of this blaster from 2018. And I believe that's spoiler alert. Come on. We also got the First Order Stormtrooper blaster I cannot talk today. Why? Re-released in 2020. Released in 2015 at first, but in 2020 it came back to promote Star Wars Galaxy as I need to talk slowly. The Stormtrooper Blaster release was re-released in 2020 to promote Star Wars Galaxy Edge at the Disney Hollywood Studios, at least here in Florida. I don't know. Is that Disneyland in California? I think so. And then lastly, we have the Mandalorian Rocket Gauntlet. Uh, I mean, it's a another like thing that you put on your hand and shoot. Though this does look much cooler than the Marvel ones. Let me get rid of this ad. But yeah, you have two blasters that released in 2020 to promote The Mandalorian. And then you have this thing for Galaxy's Edge. So that's your Star Wars blasters. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Ooh. Elite 2.0. What killed Elite? But I'm gonna skip and look for Elite real quick. Ah, here we go. Yes. The Swan Song for Elite. I'm not counting this was the swan song for Elite, like the last hurrah. And I'm not counting and I'm not gonna count the Falcon Fires that released like a year later in like Canada or something. This is the last Elite Blaster release, the Shell Strike DS6. I have one of these. I think I got mine 2020, but like Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, very last, like January, at this very start of the year. I mean, it was really cool seeing it. At the time, Elite, you know, it was sort of on a downward spiral, but that was the last thing we ever got from Elite, and it's kind of just a weird swan song. Like it's basically the trilogy as a pistol, which is it was pretty good at. It was pretty good. But yeah, it was basically the trilogy pistol form. So it was nice seeing something use the trilogy shells. I don't know what else to say, but um, yeah, weirdly enough, that blaster has 2018 on the blaster mold. So I assume it was meant to come out in like 2019, but it got delayed. But yeah, that was the last Elite Blaster, in my opinion. The Falcon Fire reskins in Canada, for now I won't count that. Anyway, Elite 2.0. Oh boy, this was the year people fucking hated Nerf. Oh god. You, we'll get to the Nexus Pro in like an hour or something, but Elite 2.0. Oh boy. Yeah. So, I remember when these blasters were like being leaked online, and people are being like, "Oh man, Is this gonna be like a Nerf Pro, like 90 FPS? Cool blasters, bro. These sound awesome. And they were the opposite. I'll talk about COVID for a sec. Thanks to COVID, screwing everyone. Hasbro had to cut costs big time. Like the they cut costs like everywhere at the start of the year, January, like we're like New York, like the Toy Fair or whatever. Uh, these blasters, I don't think these blasters were shown off. But, like a few of them that came out like the summer were shown off, and they were pretty good. But then, when they actually released, they were crap. And unfortunately, that's what Elite 2.0 was. They didn't reveal these, but yeah, in the summer of 2020, Elite 2.0 came out with 8 blasters. Oh boy, we got something to talk about. Starting with the Commander. I mean, it's basically the new strong arm. Coop calls it the new Spectre, but for me, it's the new strong arm or disruptor. It just has attachment points now. But yeah, this was like the most, I believe, like one of the more popular ones. Like I see these at thrift stores a lot nowadays. But yeah, this was basically the new strong arm. It did its job. I think my cousin has one of them, and it's all right. But yeah, uh, that I mean, it did its job. It's this new strong arm, nothing special. The plastic quality was crap though, but eh. Next up, we got the Echo. This is still on store shelves. You can still buy an Echo at Target today, depending on what Target you go to. But here in Florida, we still have Echoes and Vaults. I mean, it's the new Delta Trooper. It's the new Retaliator. Your classic top prime magazine fed baby stock, cool looking barrel. That's basically what the Echo was. It did its job. I got mine at a thrift store. I'm missing the magazine, but mine just came with the blaster and the barrel. And later on I found the stock. But I mean, it's not the most comfortable blaster. The tactical rails on the front barrel is awesome, but the top prime, like it was not the most comfortable, but it did its job. And it seems like this blaster was fairly popular because you could still buy them today at Target. And I see these at thrift stores a decent amount. So, yeah, Echo, I mean, it was a good blaster for what it was. Um, Elite 2.0 darts. I remember, like, in the leaks, people were speculating, like, oh man, these new darts, could these be like AccuStrike? I remember, yeah, people really were really hoping that the Elite 2.0 dart would be like a new Alpha Strike dart, especially since everyone really loved Dart Zone's Waffle Head darts. They're just lead darts. That's all. Uh, Next up, the Phoenix CS6. Yeah, this was one of the bad ones. Oh boy. Uh, First off, it's ugly as hell. Like it's basically the new Strife, but it's ugly as hell. Like they put the battery tray here at the front, making the blaster very front heavy. They have this big obnoxious scope on it, which is pretty cool, but you can't see through it. The plastic is super thick, so you can't really see through it. And it just like not very good. The trigger wasn't good. Everything about it was like no. So yeah, boo. Phoenix was crap. Next up, the Shockwave RD15. I'm just not gonna say these. The Shockwave. Oh God. Okay, fine. I'll click on the picture. I gotta remember to do that. The Shockwave was the new Surge Fire. Nerf at this time was trying to popularize the 15 round cylinder blasters. Like they released two that year, the drum gun and this piece of crap. This, I mean, it seems like Nerf realized, oh, well, we can't fix the slam fire for some reason. We'll just not include it at all. That's one of the best things about a drum gun, right? like a cylinder fed thing. So yeah, this was also like decently popular. I think my friend got one for his birthday. But yeah, this thing was just outshined by a certain Dart Zone blaster, which we'll talk about in here in due time. Uh, yeah, so that was like a bust. Next up, the Trio. You can buy these at Big Lots right now. It was your Triad. It's the new Triad. I'd say it did its job pretty well. Um, yeah, it's not as small as the Triad, but I mean it functioned, which was pretty good. I think it's funny how I think it's really funny how they just had to add this random extra plastic in, so making the trigger just like a little smaller. I think that's just kind of funny, honestly. It's like, uh-oh, we fucked up the trigger. Here, just add some more to make it comfortable. So yeah, that was that. But yeah, Trio was sort of a win in my opinion. I like it. Commander was kind of a win. Turbine. Oh, oh boy. The Turbine was. Oh, okay. I have two of these. The Turbine was the new Rapid Strike. Uh, and I mean it was good. It it shot fast. It came with 18 round stick mag. Hey, that's great. God damn, the design is terrible. First off, the stock is way too short. It's only like the exact length for four D cell batteries, and and making a thumbhole stock kind of like a hyperfire made it the grip more uncomfortable. The grips were so in my opinion, like not good, not great, not great, not bad. Also, I just noticed a piece of plastic's missing. That's funny. I'll use this image instead. Why is the plastic not? Okay, I won't question it. But yeah, they were missing. The grip was now uncomfortable. The stock is short. The tactical rail. How do you fuck up a tactical rail? Uh, so you're supposed to slide it in. Shoot, where do you slide? I'll be right back. Give me a sec. I need to find mine. Okay, I'm back with my turbine. Let me check the chat real quick. Yeah, nobody's still here. I don't think anybody is anybody even gonna join my stream? Like I forgot to I didn't even announce it. Yeah, like one watching. Nope. Nobody's watching my freaking stream. I'm lonely over here. Anyway, turbine. So as I was saying, they fucked up a tactical rail. How do you do that? Well, as you see in this like pre-render, you see like a little notch here, like right here. Like so, presumably you would slide your tactical rail up front. In the actual blaster, you still have to do that to lock it into the to the little tooth. Which, by the way, they cheaped out on. They stopped using actual like separate tooth pieces. It's now all molded, making it cheap as hell. But also, now the design is like confusing because it has like a slope. It has a slope here, so presumably I'll be like, oh, I have to slide it in that way, but you can't. But at the over here, it's just like a straight block. Yeah, it's not a good design. The uh the jam door was cheap as hell. Like you can lose it, and the hole to get into the blaster, yeah, that was tiny. Also, mag release terrible. But I think we all knew that. And then, oh boy, the end strike barrel lug. Oh my god. Also, why is the rear iron sight like all the way here and not like back here? this barrel lug is completely broken. You can't use it with anything. Because if you put on like a long barrel, it doesn't actually lock into the little tooth here. Because the barrel is like extended out for some reason. And also, every single barrel you put on it will be crooked to the left or the right. I don't know. It's permanently crooked, and you can't fix that. So what the hell? So that makes putting on a barrel attachment completely useless. Granted, oh, and one more thing. Granted, yeah, you don't want to put on a barrel, but like, come on, for the tactical points are now like it won't even function. I jam my blaster putting on a barrel attachment. Come on, it's perfect for the Echo barrel, but you can't use it. Oh. Also, this rail, because this barrel like seemed to have been like cut, like it should have been. Honestly, it should have been longer to make this rail usable because it's way too short for anything. Try to put on a grip, a bipod, you can't because then the black part here would be bumping into it. So yeah, a lot of issues. It still works, but like I just have so many problems with it. Oh my god, I'm just complaining. Next up, oh boy, before we get into the big one here, we got the vault. This blaster did its job. It's the new Night Finder, or it's the new Fire Strike. It did its job. It worked well. You can still buy these at Target as well. $5. Like at the time it was 10, but now you can buy these for 5. The price of N1, like a 10 pack of N1 darts, same price, $5. But yeah, the Elite 2.0 Vault. It was also, I assume, because Target still sells them. It was like also a pretty popular blaster. So yeah, um, it was a good blaster. Like it did nothing special. It's just the new Fire Strike. So yeah. Oh boy. Okay, let's get to the big one now. The Warden. Okay. This was one of this was one of the biggest reasons to Nerf's hatred around this time. They fucked up the rough cut because how much Hasbro had to cut corners because all the Elite 2.0 blasters, like I said, they were like good, but the plastic quality was just not up to par. It was not great. It felt like a Buzzbee blaster, honestly. But the Warden, like the way they had to cut costs here to make a cheap version of the rough cut was terrible. Because it broke. It does not function. It the slam fire just killed your blaster. Like, and we all noticed from the terrible reviews everyone put out. Coop, Walcom, uh, who else? I believe Jirac. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, this thing just broke. It was a ticking time bomb, and Nerf knew this. So, like for a while, I believe they discontinued it in like 2021 or so, and then reintroduced it that year. Just silently without any notice. Like it's not like with Dart Zone and the Omnia where they're like, "Oh, we're so sorry. We are so sorry. We're gonna get this thing fixed." Nerf just silently fixed it, and the only person ever noticed was Brett or Bray. He actually noticed it and like did a video in 2022 saying like, "Is it really that bad?" Cause now $15 in 2022, and they actually fixed it. They fixed all the issues, and it actually worked. But I don't think anybody noticed because of the terrible first impressions. In fact, the entire League 2.0 like has been permanently scarred because of those negative first impressions from nerfers back in 2020. Like even if it got better by 2023, it was pretty decent. It was still like people are still not giving it a chance. That's because of like a little company called Dart Zone. But again, we'll get to them towards the end. End Strike, the Icon series. This was just disrespectful. Like back in 2019, it was pretty cool seeing the Mag Strike and the Stampede and the Element get re-released, but like, why the Element? Why not the Night Finder or even the Maverick? But like the Mag Strike, hey, that's pretty cool. Seeing an Air Power Blaster again, and the Stampede is pretty damn iconic. Unfortunately, it doesn't have all of its attachments. It just only has the shield. no deployable bipod, and no three mags, just the two mags it has. But hey, that was cool to see again. In 2020, this was just disrespectful. So first they put out the Spectre. Why? I don't. They put out the Spectre. Like clearly Nerf just did not give a damn anymore, and they're like, we need to put out a blaster. I don't want to do the Maverick. I don't want to do the Vulcan. Come on. Oh yeah, we done the Spectre back in the Elite series. Yeah, let's re-release that. They re-released the Spectre again. Why? Because was already re-released. It was already re-released back in the Elite series in 2013, so it was already up to par. They're just like, okay, well, let's just put it back in the OG colors. Like the stock has already been like they already had everything. In fact, I mean they still do that today, where they re-released it with the Warden like 2 years ago or something. So yeah, that's just like a cheap blaster. There's like, sure. But the other one, again, the next one's the long shot. Again, they already re-released this before, back in like 2015 with the Elite recolor, and then 2014 in Zombie Strike. So they already re-released the long shot. Uh, but oh no, the way they why did they have to change the plunger tube? Like the long shot's an iconic blaster. It has like a high reputation, like modding, beautiful. And coming out in 2020, people are like, "Hey, awesome! We still got more long shots." Plus, you get the scope again, which is a pretty awesome scope. The front gun, like nobody gave a damn for, but like, hey, that's cool. You know, it fits with the aesthetic, and also, but they changed the plunger tube in the blaster to make it tiny, like minuscule. Why? They made it tiny for no reason. Maybe they did it to cut costs. Like again, they probably only re-released the long shot and the Spectre in 2020 because oh yeah, we've done these before. Uh, just to cut costs, they didn't want to dig up the old they didn't want to dig up their old Maverick uh Maverick blueprints or whatever whatever, I don't know. But like, you kidding me? They cheaped out. They're like, okay, let's make the plunger tube smaller because fuck modding. What? That makes 0 cents. It was $50. God damn. So yeah, you just disrespected like one of the biggest blasters, like one of the most iconic Nerf blasters. But yeah, uh, much smaller plunger tube, basically just like saying "fuck you, modders," haha. And I think that was also a big sentiment. Like Nerf was just like, we need to screw these like modders. So they also clipped together all the Elite 2.0 blasters. I can't believe I forgot to mention that. Yeah, Elite 2.0 was all clipped together, hot glued, blah blah blah. Longshot, yeah. So, and that just sucks because the modders are the biggest fans of Nerf. But Nerf doesn't see it that way. They just think, oh, little kids, they love these. So yeah. What the hell, man? Next up. Okay, I need to stop ranting. Next up, we got the six blaster bundle. I mean, it is what it is. It's basically a bunch of Jolt reskins. More specifically, the Strong Arm, Strife, Fire Strike, and Rough Cut. You know, these have been re-released before back in like I think 2019 or 2018 in the Microshot series. But they also did two extra colors, exclusive colors for the Rough Cut and Strong Arm. I don't know why. They just did that for some reason. It was also an Amazon exclusive. I don't think it's even being sold anymore. Like it doesn't even have a link for the blaster. Bruh. So yeah, that was the Microshots. That just existed. And oh, okay, before we get to that, this was like one of the last few high quality blasters. The Nerf Talon, from the AccuStrike Mega series. This was like one of the last AccuStrike blasters ever. I'm pretty sure. I think it was the last one. It was basically like a reskin of the Big Shock, but with more plastic and 3 darts. $10. I mean, hey, that was good. Released back in like, early 2020. So that was like before Nerf went to shit. But yeah, back when we had this type of packaging before. Yeah, give it a sec. But oh boy, we need to talk about this. The Nerf Mega Moto Strike. Oh crap. This blaster was promised to be a really good blaster. Like they showed off at Toy Fair. The apparently Coop said the trigger was so buttery and good. And then it released. It was not that. They cheaped out big time. Like Hasbro's like, just use leaf springs. And yeah, they put a shittier spring on the trigger, making the trigger terrible. Like it was promised to be great, and now it's terrible. What the hell? The 10 dart mag was pretty good, and it was awesome that you can reuse your Centurion mags. But they just like this was the Megaline Swan song, and it was a shitty blaster. It was meant to be like kind of like the Mega Strife. They finally made one. Hello Shadow B, welcome to the stream. It was promised to be the Mega Strife, but it was it was a shitty knockoff, or it was a shitty version of one. Like, come on, why did you have to? Why they made it cheap just to cut cost? And this was the Mega Series Swan Song. Like after that, it just became an ammo type for Fortnite and Limited. This is like the last Mega Blaster. What a way to go out. Compared to Elite, where their last blaster, the Shell Strike, hey, that was actually a pretty good blaster. Um, the Moto Strike was not great. It could have been great, but it's not. I am so disappointed. Anyway, uh, Rival. Okay. For Rival, they had a bunch of re-releases of the Chronos and the Knockout in like different packs. I got this like little like targeting set. You got like a 2 pack. You got like a little uh like eyewear thingy. I don't think these were like widely available. I don't know. I don't even know how you get them, but those came out alongside 4 blasters. We'll start with the takedown here because this guy was like it's been available for a long time. You could still buy it today as a Deadpool blaster. But yeah, the takedown, it's a pretty good blaster. It's an 8-shot Chronos in the style of a shotgun. Yeah, it's not a proper shotgun, but like these are rival rounds. They don't need shotguns. Look at the Atlas. That thing was trash. Um, but yeah, the knockout it was a good blaster. It was really fun, and they sold this like for many years. I think in 2022 you could still buy these at like Ollie's. I think that's when I got mine. Yeah, I think I got mine in like 2022 or 2021. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, I got the takedown at Ollie's, and yeah, like it lasted long enough where it went from this type of packaging to the newer Arrival packaging that was introduced like later that year. I don't know, that same year. Not 100% sure. Oh, it's not even on the Nerf wiki. Ah, crap. Okay, let me look it up. Okay, Nerf wiki hasn't added the new packaging. But if I go here, like, this is like the newer style rival packaging we'll see later on. And yeah, it lasted until then. So yeah, it was definitely like a longer lasting rival gun. And that was pretty awesome. Next up, we got the Roundhouse. This one was meant to be the rival strong arm, and it was okay. This like plastic part here is just like unnecessary. You could have just removed it, but it was a 15 round rival revolver, chunky as hell, and it was okay, honestly. It was just like, meh. But yeah, that existed. It came out, and yeah, it was a rival revolver. It's pretty cool. Next up, the finisher. This was a rival, like a one of the top prime magazine fed blasters, like a retaliator. The magazine they made funky for some reason. Like you can load it through the side or something. I want to try to find a picture. It was like I want to find a picture, but I don't know one. Hold up. Okay, let me. I want to find a picture of like showing that like unique magazine because it was like, wait, I saw it for a sec. Give me a sec. Yeah, it was basically like you could load it from the bottom as well or something like that. That was a pretty cool mechanism. But yeah, that was just like the finisher's like gimmick. Because other than that, it's just like a generic top prime magazine fed pistol with yeah. I mean that's all it really was. I mean it was basically like yeah. Anyway, lastly we got the Nerf rival Charger. This was the P90. It just existed. It had like a little hopper type thingy. But yeah, it was like I really wanted one of these back then because it looked like a P90. Uh, but I never bothered getting one. But yeah, it was a P90 blaster. It looked really cool, but that's about it. Oh yeah, it came out. Yeah, all these, but the thing is, all these rival blasters came out back in early 2020. I think like these things were like later 2020. But yeah, a lot of like I mean they were pretty good. Like they're mediocre, okay, and good. But yeah, they had these come out in like before Nerf went to crap. Like people still liked Nerf at the time. Also, they released this thing, the Nerf Saturn. Let me look. Come on. They released the Nerf Rival Edge Saturn. It's basically the takedown, but longer. It has a proper stock. It has 10 rounds now. And yeah, it was this is like a more primary style shotgun that you would use. Like this is like a primary. The takedown was like much more like chopped off, sawed off type shotgun. You know, a smaller one. But yeah, this was like a big boy one. It had like a cool reactive target. But yeah, this was like the last, like one of the last like rival blasters released that was like actually good. I don't know what I'm saying. Like, I feel like rival around this time was like they were around this time they were phasing away from like red versus blue. Like it was not about that anymore. Like they used to be named after like Greek gods, but then they went to like takedown, roundhouse, knockout, like fighting terms. And then Edge like that existed for like a year and a half. I don't know. But yeah, Saturn existed. And then after that, Rival just became like this was like the last year Rival was like a big main brand because that Nerf took seriously. Because after this, Rival just became like a gimmick for Nerf. Like Nerf was just like, we need to put out like a curve thing. I want to put something that has a curve. Oh yeah, let's do Rival. Like Rival just had curves and then like other random crap until it became and then it had the Yaku Strike thing, which like come on, rifle rounds already pretty accurate. Like, why? But yeah, Nerf Rival just kind of existed around this time. Well, it was still like oh yeah, okay. I don't know. I'm just rambling. Oh yeah, let me read the chat real quick. Does the Worker Swift count and the Nexus Pro? Yes, Nexus Pro count. The Nexus Pro will count, but that will be when we get there. You know, we'll get there when we get there. We're going through Nerf right now. I don't know when the Worker Swift came out. I think it was 2020. I don't remember, but I think the Worker Swift did come out this year. Again, we'll get there when we get there, because I'm just rambling on. But yeah, this is like the last year rival is kind of like a big brand. Anyway, Nerf Ultra. Oh boy. It came out the year before with the Ultra 1. That was kind of like mid reviews. Like people just like, eh. And this year, again, just like the Fortnite line, it exploded with products. We got like Vision Gear and the Ultra 2 at the beginning of the year. The Ultra 2 was pretty damn good. I mean, you rear load it. That's pretty damn cool. I mean, yeah, Ultra 2, that good blaster. I like that one. I don't have one, but it was a good blaster. After that, towards the summer, like a lot of leaks came out, and that was for the Ultra 3, the 4, the 5, and the 7. This was this would be and this was presumably the 6, but it was never like leaked as such. But yeah, Nerf then decided, okay, Ultra 6, Ultra 7, why? So they decided to go with like a gold theme, uh, and call this the Pharaoh and the Dorado, and the Dorado. We'll just continue on from 2 to 3, and then 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Yeah, around October they finally released the Ultra Blasters. The Ultra 3, people like this blaster. I honestly do not. Like I've never used it, but like honestly speaking, this is ugly as hell. Like you got tiny grip in the back with like 5 darts, and then you have this big thing in the front. It's like a that's like an axe or something for 8 rounds. People said this was a good blaster. It might be, but it's just I do not like the look of it. It just looks ugly. I am not a big fan of the look. Next up, the Ultra 4. This one was definitely like a longer lasting one. I remember the Ultra 1 was also sort of long lasting because that was like they stopped showing up on shelves around like 2022 for me. The Ultra 4, uh yeah, it's your single shot pistol. Nothing special, but it was pretty high quality. All the Ultra Blasters were pretty high quality despite Hasbro cutting costs like crazy. And it was that way because they had these like big poofy boxes. The Ultra 4 later on got like a minimalistic box around like 2022 or something. But yeah, that was a good blaster. Um, no issues there other than it's Ultra. I'll rant on Ultra in a sec, but next up, the Ultra 5. This this just doesn't look good. It's basically the Fortnite SPL, or if you're an OG, the Mega Magnus. It holds 4 rounds in this little thing. Why is this the Ultra 5 if it holds 4 rounds? Why? You couldn't just make the single shot pistol the 5? It also has this like this unnecessary like brass knuckles type like guard for your fingers or whatever. That just looks cramped. But again, it performed well. All the Ultra Blasters are around like 90 FPS. So that was kind of the standard for that. Next up, what I presume would probably be the 6, is the Dorado. People like this thing. I don't. Honestly, like it's the Ultra 2 as a carbine. Uh, I don't I don't get it. Honestly, I don't really get it. But yeah, you basically just get like more unnecessary stuff like carry handle, darts, uh, like the Ultra 2 is a pretty really good revolver, but having like all this unnecessary like carbine stuff to make your revolver like a little rifle, I don't I just find it unnecessary, honestly. But I believe in Europe, uh shoot. Hold up. I remember like Europe it was like gonna release as like oh no, I'm so dumb. No, this was released in Europe. Yeah, funny thing. This did not release in America. This was our European only blaster. because in 2021, we would us Amer us Americans would get it as the Scream Machine, just to introduce the Scream darts, which, by the way, were introduced this year as well. They had the Scream Machine, the Screamer darts, which were basically Whistler darts. So cool. But yeah, not in America, which doesn't make sense. But anyway, next up, the Ultra. Lastly, the Ultra Pharaoh, one of the best blasters in a series. It is a sniper rifle. That is pretty damn awesome. I mean, as far as I've seen, like reviews for this was really positive. Like I had tac rail for your bipod. You had a cool integrated scope. It's a little too close. Like you kind of have to squish your head to look through it. But you had an awesome like. Ooh, the bolt was so good. It's like an actual bolt action. It was real. It was basically like a Barrett 50. Like it was super cool. Like one of the best blasters. So that was like one of the few good blasters in Ultra because just going on a quick rant, like the Ultra 2 and Ultra Pharaoh and sort of the Ultra 4 were the only good blasters. Like at this time, people realize Ultra's just not a good series, man. Like it's not good. Like the darts were really bad. Like they promised the darts as like all this, like accuracy, high tech, blah blah blah, and it wasn't. They were just proprietary bullshit darts because Hasbro was sick of the Chinese, all the ammo sting knockoffs existing. But unfortunately that's just how unfortunately Hasbro just got greedy and we're like, we need new ammo types. Ultra was the start of this trend, and 2021 and beyond, oh boy, the ammo got weird and expensive at the same time. So yeah, uh, hell no. The glasses look cool though. I will say that. Next up, another very sad swan song. A series ending with three blasters, by the way. Zombie Strike. Well, this was like one of my favorite series, and RIP. At the start of the year, we got the Alternator. Pretty cool blaster, really cool gimmick. Single shot, two shot, or triple shot. I mean, hey, that's a really cool gimmick. Zombie Strike's your gimmick series, and it was really cool. But after that, come on, I gotta load this. After that, and they also announced at like Toy Fair or something, the Ghoul Grinder, which looked weird, but I mean, it worked. Honestly, though, I kind of have a theory that like this because like Nerf was like so done with like some of the series. I feel like this one just never got a wide release. Like I never seen this in stores. I've seen the alternator in stores back then. And like the other blaster, the contractor, was also never in stores. I feel like these last two Zombie Strike blasters, this one, uh, which by the way had a pretty cool gimmick. I forgot to mention this one and the other one. Come on, load. This one and the other one, the contractor. I feel like these got very limited releases because Hasbro's just like cutting costs and they're like, we're done with this series, just release it. This is just ugly as hell. Honestly, like I know Zombie Strike's like a little ugly, but like this really means it. It was also in the Power Shock series, so you got cool lights and sounds. But yeah, Contractor, ugly. Ghoul Grinder, people just did not like this thing for some reason. I liked it. I never used it, but like honestly, I kind of like it. Like you have this cool ball on one side. You have like a removable stock. You have a cool like pinwheel thing, like a wheel. But yeah, um, people are just not a fan for some reason. I don't get it. But yeah, these were like these two were Zombie Strike Swan Song, which again sucks because they also sort of cheaped out on I think both of these, and just like why? Anyway, let me check the chat real quick. Nothing new. How many people are even viewing my stream? I want to check. Like nobody. Nobody's even watching my stream. I feel depressed. Miscellaneous items. We got the bullseye target. I got this for my birthday in 2020 alongside the Delta Trooper and Shadow, or no, not Shadow, the Scout 2.0. And it was like I remember seeing this in stores and thinking pretty cool. But yeah, um, that came out. It wasn't very good. I was not a fan of it because how tiny it was. But yeah, that came out. They had the Flash Strike. This was a really cool idea. It's just overpriced. But yeah, it's basically like Target you can like build together, kind of like a honeycomb design or something. But honestly, it just wasn't very like it's too expensive for like this tiny thing. Elite glasses, like hell yeah. Hey, this was like the first time Nerf gave a damn about eyewear. So like they've done eyewear in the past. Like this is the first time they were like, okay, we gotta focus on this eyewear thing. Because as you see in a bunch of Nerf, I'll just use the packaging for this. Like you see like all the like Nerf people on the box started wearing eyewear. And Nerf was like getting sued for like hurting people's eyes, des- despite warnings on the box not to shoot them in the eye. So Nerf was like, okay, here's some eyewear from 2020. I don't think this is even released. Was this even released? Like, I've never seen it. This, I think, was released, but like limitedly, like not wide. And this one was like everywhere. They also had the Connect 4 Blast. I saw this at the thrift store one time. I was like, should I get it? Nah. I also seen this at Target a few times. But yeah, you got Connect 4 X Nerf. Pretty cool, but yeah, had Alpha Strike Stingers and AccuStrike darts. Eh, I mean, it's Connect 4, so that's cool. Next up, Super Soaker. Now we're leaving Nerf. We're almost done. We got Fortnite Super Soakers, the Beef Boss, Compact SMG, Fish Stick, Pump SMG. This is the only one with a page for some reason. Like, this was before the Pump SG like dart blaster. So back then, if you wanted a pump, you got the water gun, and honestly, it did job. It looks like it looks like it's from the game. So that's pretty cool. Oh God, can't show dart zone yet, but yeah, yeah, they got the Fortnite stuff. SMG, cool. Shotgun, cool. They also re-release a bunch of old school Super Soakers from the 90s and stuff. So we got the XP 20, 30, and 100. Uh, I actually have the 100. I got it at Ollie's. They also had the 100. They also had the 50, which is like the OG Super Soaker you think of. That was in 2019 though, so it doesn't count here. But yeah, holds a lot of water. Pretty cool. The 20, 30. I mean, hey, they do their job. Pretty cool. Hey, I mean, they were sold. They're popular until a little lawsuit happened. A little story time. Around 2020 or like 2021, I'm just gonna Google it. Nerf Super Soaker. Uh, wasn't until like 2020. Actually, was it this year? Oh yeah, it was 2020. These were quickly pulled off. When did these blasters come out? It was like summertime. Has to be. Yeah, they came out in 2020. They existed on shelves for a few weeks or months until, uh-oh, recall. This was Hasbro's first ever recall in many, many years. I think the last recall Hasbro had was like the it was like the Recon recall uh, in like 2008. But this yeah, 2020. The stickers on these, why is the image so stretched? Ugh. Uh the stickers on the water tanks, they had some certain material that was that exceeded regulatory limits and had lead in it. That's not good. Only about 42,000 units and 77,000 units. That is shockingly low for this. Um, can't were sold for these, and they were recalled for having defective stickers. They were re-released in like 2021 or something, with stickers fixed up, like new stickers. Uh, yeah, XP30. But yeah, I assume this might be like one of the more harder blasters to find, considering no one gives a damn about Super Soaker. But yeah, too much lead in the paint, making it unsafe. Uh-oh, bad blaster. But yeah, I believe that was like the last, like, this was like the first recall in like a long, long time. Like, yep, I was right. So yeah, Super Soaker, like, that was the most recent recalls, but like, before then, like, 2008, the Nerf Recon, the plunger sticking out. That was the last recall, and they were like clean for a good 12 years. Hasbro's pretty clean. For that, oh boy, they had a lot. But yeah, those were some Nerf recalls. Um, Now we're off of Nerf. Let me check the chat. Is nobody's even watching my stream? Why am I streaming if nobody's gonna watch it? I'm doing this on a Saturday. Anyway, Adventure Force products. We got. I'm checking the chat. Captain Shockman was here and he left. Shadow B's here. I think he may have left. And is out. I'm surprised Out of Ideas is not here yet. That's weird. Adventure Force products. Adventure Force. So basically, Dart Zone, uh, Busby, and X-Shot. What Busby released, I'll just go over this first because it's here. The Max Havoc. This was an X-Shot blaster, released into Adventure Force. It's a re-release of an X-Shot blaster. I believe it's called the Max. Yeah, the Max Havoc. It's a re-release of the Max Havoc from X-Shot. Yeah. So yeah, within the same year, it's basically like a 20 round cylinder thing, top prime. You got a good stock. I mean, it's a thing. So, uh, Sal's from X Shot. From Busby, you got a couple blasters. I'll start with this one, the Springfire. You could still buy these today because I assume these. I'm just gonna say this right here, like these blasters in like a good 10 years, you'll commonly see these in like Nerf lots for sale, and it'll be called like green and black blaster. There's like no wording on it. Nobody's gonna know this is called the Springfire, and it's only $4, making it very affordable for pretty much everyone. But like in the future, people there's no like name on it, so people are not gonna know what this is called, unfortunately. So if people, so I think in like the next 10 years, when you find Nerf lots online and this blaster's included, like I heard, it's probably gonna be called like Nerf green Nerf gun for sale, or knockoff green Nerf gun or whatever, because like nobody knows it's like a Busby Springfire. But yeah, this is the Springfire. You can still buy these at Walmart today for $4, and that's a steal because like the blaster hits pretty well, like 70 FPS. I mean, hey, it works. That's a pretty good price. So that's the Springfire. Next up, we have the Battle Blazer for like $8. This was like kind of crap, honestly. It's a top prime thing with a belt. That's pretty cool. Apparently, it wasn't very good. So, uh-oh. Yes, I think this was like a European release, but uh, yeah, it wasn't a very good blaster, unfortunately. But yeah, that released pretty cool. Um, they were released under Air Warriors. Uh, so yeah, that was the Battle Blazer. Then you have the Rebel mech. This is basically Busby's version of the Strife. It's not very good. You know, it has that classic Busby quality of it's crap. But I feel like the big redeeming factor here is that it has a drum mag, which is pretty cool. I think Busby's included this. They started including these drum mags and blasters in like 2019, and yeah, it's the first time at Adventure Force. So yeah, you can buy like a cheap Strife knockoff. You can buy a cheap Strife if you want, for like 20 bucks. But yeah, you can also get a 30 round drum if you want. So that's pretty cool. After that, we also have the slingshot. Oh boy, this was like you could still buy these at like uh I don't think these were not very available in like Walmart, but like they have like Busby created the slingshot thing. It was like $5, and they also made like an Air Warriors version. That's I think like a much wider release in terms of like yeah, you can buy these at like TJ Maxx and stuff. But yeah, this blaster, fairly common actually. Like I look up Nerf lots on Facebook. Yeah, you can find this blaster like a good amount of the time. So yeah, the slingshot was fairly popular. Um, unfortunate. It's just like a common blast, and it's a common blaster that you always find at like Ross, Burlington, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls, you know. So yeah, that's just like kind of a common blaster. Oh boy, then Dart Zone existed. We gotta talk about them. First off, let's talk about the irrelevant blaster here, the Sportsman. This is a hopper blaster. Dart Zone done a hopper blaster before. I have one of them. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like a motorized blaster. But with a Sportsman, you have like a little hopper thing on the top, and it's a pump action. It does apparently what it doesn't work well, but it looks pretty cool, so that's good. Yeah, Sportsman. It's a cool blaster. Had a cool gimmick, but yeah, yeah, it kind of had like a lot of jam issues, unfortunately, because it's spring powered. Anyway, oh boy, we got some special blasters to talk about here. Let's start with the Villainator. Dart Zone in 2020. Okay, we need to talk about this. Thanks to Nerf being stupid with Elite 2.0 and cheaping out like crazy, and Dart Zone releasing a certain blaster called the Nexus Pro, everyone loved Dart Zone, and that's when the Dart Zone fanboy like train started. And what helped was they also released some really really good uh full length dart blasters. They released the Villainator. I got one of these. I actually got one of these. It's missing the stock though, but I got these from a thrift store. Um, it was like the best blaster you could possibly buy for like a casual Nerf war. It has a 40 round drum, slam fire, comfortable, good grip. Plastic quality was and a good stock. It was the best thing you can buy. You can still buy these at Walmart today. These are like very popular, and it definitely helped that with Nerf making basic and basically like made the shockwave and the drum gun irrelevant because 40 rounds. Like X-Shot done a 40 round blaster before, the Turbo Advance, and that looked really cool, but like and that was a really good blaster people liked. But the Villainator made that one irrelevant. This was the go-to drum gun for Nerf wars. Like this made everything else irrelevant. So yeah, um yeah, you can still buy them today. And then we also have the Spectrum right here. This was like Dart Zone again, cooking. some people did not like this blaster, but uh, yeah, but many people really like this blaster. Um, it was basically a new Strife, and it hit 90 FPS without needing mods. Granted, it came with like a bunch of accessories no one wanted, like this grip and this sight had a proprietary stock, but if you put on the Villainator stock, you're fine. And a cheap 10 round mag, but like it had the performance. It was the best Strife you can use for a casual Nerf war, especially since the especially since a stock Strife, you'll have to like with a stock Strife, you're gonna have to like modify it and take out all the locks and stuff. Here, no locks. Yeah, yeah. The rev trigger was uncomfortable though, and honestly, I really like this green color scheme. I really do. I'm kind of pissed that they discontinued it like a year later, and you can only find the red one now. Like the red one's the only one you can buy. But like the Spectrum just became like everyone's favorite like high FPS blaster for casual war, and I mean, hey, it was a good blaster. Um Unfortunately uh yeah uh a bunch of I don't know what to say anymore. What am I saying? Uh Nowadays, nowadays in 2025, these blasters were like, these blasters are pretty common. Like, you have like the Dart Zone Thunderbolt, which was all basically the successor to Spectrum, and you also had the X-Shot Clip Mania, also kind of like this. But this started a revolution. Started the hell. Uh, this is hell for Nerf fans. Like Veilnator, a really good blaster. Spectrum, really good blaster. This just started the whole Dart Zone fanboy thing that pretty much everyone was at one point. Everyone raving on Dart Zone for making good blasters. And well, I think we have a certain pro blaster to thank. This changed the hobby, like legit. The Nexus Pro. This permanently changed the Nerf hobby as we know it. Because back in 2020, like half dart stuff wasn't too common. Um, Actually, and I'm getting ahead of myself here because this was like a summer release in the summer. I'm trying to find where's that like Dart Zone like 2.1. Whatever that 2.1 blaster is. Hold up. It was like the Dart Zone Pro like 2.1. Oh no, it's the 1.1. Hold up. We're getting ahead of ourselves here because this released in like early 2020. The Dart Zone 1.1. It's hard to say. 1.1. And this was basically like a Target online exclusive of the Dart Zone. It was a Target online exclusive of the Dart Zone Mark 1, which was like a very limited thing, but it was the start of a trend for half dart pro blasters becoming the norm. Back in 2019, everyone still modded their blasters. Half dart was kind of like a niche back then, but this like sort of made it more popular, like more accessible, and like people are like, "Hey, this is awesome." Um, and then the Nexus Pro existed. If I go back there, this blaster made half dart like this was you could buy this off store shelves. This basically made half dart pro springers like accessible to everybody. Like a little kid could buy this if they want, and they could join like the pro Nerf hobby that's sort of been like restricted and gatekept if you didn't mod blaster. You didn't have to mod a blaster anymore now. Granted, it was kind of recommended still, but yeah, this changed everything. Nowadays in 2025, honestly, this is garbage nowadays because we've gone so far. Everything's evolved so much. It's like an iPhone. Like everything like iPhone 4 to like 10 was like evolving so quickly, and now we're kind of at a stalemate. But like the same thing here. Within 5 years, we have evolved so much. This blaster got a sequel 4 years later in the Nexus Pro X. But nowadays, if you try to go back to a Nexus Pro, it's just not the greatest experience. Like, first off, you have that like that slop here because it took half full length darts as well. Everyone was still running full length darts back in 2020. Nowadays, it's not common to run full length darts. It's like kind of rare to run full length darts in a Nerf war. Back in 2020, it was still the norm. But yeah, you had like an M4 buffer tube for like your M4 stop. You had Picatinny rail. You had like a cool muzzle thing that was kind of proprietary back then, but widely available now. Yeah, the muzzle I think could take like rival rounds, I believe. Yeah, nowadays like this thing just like very outdated, but back then it was really really good. And also just kind of ruined. And also, just a little rant here. This blaster kind of ruined Nerf for a lot of people because now like no one had to mod anymore. I actually had that. I had my I myself. Ugh, I myself had that mindset. I was a Dark Zone fanboy. Yes, I'm a fucking asshole, but um I had that mindset like, hey, I don't have to mod anymore because I was scarred from modding and breaking my blasters, um, which was unfortunate. Like my dumbass autistic self couldn't mod blasters, but and if I tried, I broke a blaster. Womp womp, my idiot self. But now with the Nexus Pro and all their Dart Zone blasters coming later, you did not have to mod, which was awesome. So now, um, I'm yawning. I'm tired. It's 7:25. But now with no one had to really you didn't have to mod. So I had that mindset, hey, Dark Zone's awesome now. And Nerf is a piece of shit. Ha ha. And that was pretty much everyone back in 2020 to like 2024, 2023. Like Nerf was scarred for like the at the be like for a good while. But yeah, um, that was the Nexus Pro. Um, now I just keep rambling on for no reason. But alongside it came the Aeon Pro. This blaster, I mean, it was pretty good, honestly. It kind of got a little outshined by the Nexus Pro, but yeah, this blaster was like the cheaper alternative. $25 and you can get a Pro Blaster. Awesome. Yeah, it takes full length darts and half length darts. Um, Unfortunately, like because it's really powerful, like the hard spring, it was like really hard to prime this thing, and my sweaty palms always my can a microphone hear this? I don't think they can. Come on, I want to eat snack. Okay. Yeah, but because the priming handle is really hard, so a lot of people loved it, but I myself just not a big fan. But eh, yeah, I got mine like 2022 or something. I don't actually have a Nexus Pro, but I have a Striker, which is like the same thing. Yeah, so that was Dart Zone. Uh, for now, we're going back to Busby because we have the Light Master. What is a Light Master? Uh, Come on. The Lightmaster, well, that's basically just like another Busby Retaliator wannabe thingy. The Equalizer, meanwhile, is basically like a Busby strong arm. This thing, like, okay, I'm surprised. Yeah, it's basically a Busby strong arm with like the cup, this like the little cup things from X-Shot. I'm surprised like the official images still are just like the rendering. Because this thing like I don't think this even released in 2020. Like it was revealed in 2020, but I don't think it even released. I think it was like a very limited release and then like became widely available in like 2021 all over Ross and Burlington and stuff. And even had like a recolor as well. I've seen this recolor in person. Pretty cool. Actually, I think that was like the Dyna yeah, it was the Dynablast I saw. So yeah. Uh yeah, that exists. D-Dart. Who remembers D-Dart? Honestly, nobody. Back in 2019 when they first came out with this, it was a really big deal. Like, hey, that's really cool. Nowadays, they're basically forgotten. They're like another Nerf competitor that try to like compete, but like only they were only relevant for like a year. Like we've seen so many companies like that. Like coming up, we got Wrecked and Game Face. Like they were only relevant for like a year or a second or two, a year or two. I like everyone's hyping up Siren, and honestly, like I see them going the same way. Siren's probably only gonna last like a good year and then be completely forgotten. So now Dart Zones. Yeah, they were cooking with their full length blasters. This one was like in stores for a long time. The Blitzfire X2, a re-release of the Blitzfire, made better. Yeah, I have the green one because I thrifted it. But yeah, you could still buy these today. Like nowadays in a different color scheme. Like I'm still trying to look for a blue one, but yeah, these were really popular, I remember. And what I think is funny, only a Target has waffle head darts. So I assume, but yeah, these are like really popular with the these were like really popular and when the X shot the target, what are those darts called again? I forgot. The X shot the dart zone darts from Target, whatever they're called. Another blaster very popular around like the past 5 years. Same thing. Magnum X2, a re-release of the Magnum. Honestly, I'm just not the biggest fan of this blaster. Very bad opinion. It's just ugly and I got no space for a blaster like this. I don't really care for the Magnum. But hey, it's a good starter blaster because it's 40 rounds. But honestly, nowadays with the Villainator coming out, it's kind of irrelevant as well. But yeah, another blaster I've seen like for years, and you can still buy them with like the green and purple re-release. Same thing with the Blitzfire, also a very popular blaster these past um these past 5 years. Next up, we got the Corner Fire, pretty funny gimmick blaster. The gimmick actually worked, funny enough, but yeah, very fun gimmick blaster. Uh, That's all I really got to say. It was also kind of a limited release because after 2020, like this thing just disappeared, and like, yeah, you can't buy one anymore, of course. But like, yeah, after like 2021, like it wasn't available anymore, so that sucked. Next up, we got the Storm Squad. This was a very limited release as well. I believe this was like like kind of wide in Canada, but like here in America, like it was like only like I think Dollar General or something, or Family Dollar, one of the dollar stores. But yeah, Storm Squad, pretty cool blaster. That was a tiny ass image, like the size of a grape. But yeah, Storm Squad, uh, pretty cool blaster. Like sort of was forgotten because despite the good $5 price tag, which is better than Springfire, it was just a very limited release, making everyone pretty much forgot about it. Now the this is just something probably discover like years later. The Rampage performance box set thing, 2 pack. It was basically a re-release of two Dart Zone blasters, like their old ones. We get the Havoc, like a clip-fed thingy, pretty cool. and then the rifle blaster. I don't know if that was its official name, but the rifle blaster, a shitty knockoff. It's a knockoff of like the X shot, uh like Hawkeye or something, and you can only buy it in this one pack. Like, why? I don't know. Ballistic Ops. I'm pretty sure we all forgot about them. Dollar store exclusive. Yeah, another one that was like exclusive to dollar stores. The Apex. It was basically like a hammer. It's basically the rival version of like a strong arm. So yeah. Uh, this was also very limited. Again, like only like Dollar General and Family Dollar. So like pretty much everyone forgot they existed. And then, ooh, this is a good one. The last Dart Zone blaster here, we got the Mark II. Let me check the chat real quick. No one's still watching the stream. I still have no viewers. Oh my god. I want to end the stream now and just eat some gummy bears, but like, why should I keep going? I this is what I get for like not announcing my streams because everyone's off doing their own thing. Anyway, the Dart Zone Mark II, really good, a really solid pistol. Definitely like one of the go-to Nerf pistols at the time. Like you got all the stuff with it. You got a cool barrel. You got an awesome. You got a holster. You got like the little speed loaders and like the something to hold them in. I mean, it was like a little actual like firearm pistol. It looked cool. The Mark 2.1 is better since you can actually load like magazines into it from the bottom like an actual pistol. But it's still like this is more compact and looks cooler. But yeah, Mark 2.1. Unfortunately, they don't sell this like kit anymore. You can still buy the blaster, but it's just the blaster and like I think one or two speed loaders in green or purple. They also had it in orange for a bit, but like this was a yeah, red variant's a Target exclusive. Orange was Walmart exclusive. It was also later on Amazon. But yeah, December 2020. It was like this was a really good blaster, honestly. It sucks they don't sell it anymore, but at least like with all the accessories. Anyway, next up after Dart Zone, we got a blaster brand you probably forgot existed. Game Face. They made the Try-On. Yes. But before the Try-On was the Prime. It was this thing, blue or red, your choice. But basically, I believe what was going on here was like, I believe the Game Face was like a airsoft brand, and then like they acquired, they bought the rights to it was like a different blaster company that made this sort of blaster. I don't remember what, but um, it was basically um yeah, it was basically just like a pump action Springer, half dart only, I believe. Or was it also full length? Was it also full length? I don't know. Yeah. Um and took Katana magazines. It was like the last year like Katana was kind of relevant because with Dart Zone's like mag adapter, Talons became the standard. Katana was like it was there for the first few years, trying to get into half darts. But once Talons came along, uh, basically the katana walked so the Talon can run. Or yeah, but yeah, you got like accessories and stuff with it, like cool goggles and a little 2 pack. Come on, there you go. A pretty cool 2 pack. That was like $262. Jesus Christ. Shitty darts. I'm pretty sure these darts decapitated themselves. And the katana mag. This is just funny. Mattel. Yeah, Boomco. Remember them? Mattel still makes blasters. We got the Minions blaster, the Minion missile 2-in-1 combat tank. It shot like mega darts or something. It was like a cross promotional thing with Minions: The Rise of Gru. Um, yeah, it shot freaking mega darts. That is just funny. Like, you got a little minion. Very. So yeah, you have like a funny meme blaster. There's that. Uh, oh yeah. I'm not really gonna get into this because Nerf Wiki on doesn't really update everything on like 3D printed blasters, but the Magpie got its own article that exists. Little Rockets and Proud Papas came out around this time. I'm surprised the price is still in question mark. Like it varies, but like yeah, Proud Papas became really popular as like a side mounted like blaster, and Little Rocket kind of just became irrelevant. Everyone just and people just stopped calling the and like yeah they still make like Little Rocket blasters, but nowadays it's just like the Proud Papa and a bunch of other like handheld variants. Yeah. Wrecked. We got the Op 4. I mean it's an M4 CO2 piece of shit or whatever. I don't know. Come on, stop lagging. And the Op 6, which was like a little CO2 single shot pistol. Yeah. So yeah, you had like another brand trying to compete with Nerf. Like they had iPro and stuff. There's nothing else to say. Like they're just there. Pretty sure. I don't think anyone even remembers them. But yeah, they made the jury like 2 years later. That got some recognition, but after that they just stopped. Worker made the Terminator. Uh, parent Worker makes okay. But yeah, that exists. And finally, X Shot. This is I'm just gonna say this right here. This is like before X Shot Insanity in 2024. This was the very last year X Shot was sort of like relevant. When did Insanity even come out? Hold up. When did Insanity come out? I don't remember. It was like 2024 or 2023. 2023. Okay. Whoops. Uh, Exshot Insanity was before that came out in 2023. Like 2020 was the very last year Exshot was like relevant to everyone because after 2020, 2021, they only had like one blaster, the Extinct. Busby was also irrelevant at this time. 2022, nothing. They were super irrelevant and like just focusing on TikTok and whatever because they were focusing on TikTok and stuff and like but behind the scenes they're taking their sweet time cooking up uh other blasters. But back in 2020, okay, I got some history with this. They have the Crusher. It's a spring powered minigun. It looks awesome. I've got some beef with this blaster. I was hyped when this was like announced because I was hoping that like, oh man, this is awesome. Mine broke like on the Prime here, and I was super pissed off. I had to return it to Target and buy a new one. So yeah, that but I kept my chain, so I have the big chain. I haven't touched mine in like 2 years, honestly. Like I I'm just not a big fan of it anymore. It feels so cheap. Like I get it, X-Shot's a cheap brand, but like the plastic quality was not good when it came out. Like honestly. But yeah, oh yeah, by the way, this is like the very last year X-Shot was like known for like the white blasters. Like they had like the main series with like the Reflex, the Fury, the Hawkeye, Vigilante, Turbo Advance, as white blasters. I believe like the Turbo Advance like discontinued or something around this time because now they focus on making red blasters. Here we got the Omega. It's basically uh the it's basically the Crusher, though like a slightly different shell. Kind of looks a little cooler, but like yeah. And then also like yeah, this is like the modern X Shop branding. Back then they still had this cool branding. So yeah, uh, that was that. Oh yeah, they released two miniguns that year. They had the Max Havoc. We've already went over this. They're sort of transitioning to. I don't have anything else to say. We got the quick slide. This was okay. This was cool to see the quick slide because they have like that like big X shot like what's that blaster called? The regenerator. They have like that big blaster, the regenerator, that takes like proprietary clip. But here the click side takes that same clip. So hey, that's cool. You got a purpose for these clips. Yeah, they still have these today. But yeah, quick slide, cool pistol. Um, trying to load. We also got like some packs. We got the Omega and two Reflex pack thing, and then also like the Ultimate Shootout pack with like four blasters and a shit ton of ammo. Pretty good value, honestly. But yeah, the big thing alongside like this thing was sort of quiet, but like sort of well known. Alongside a Crusher, which is like kind of well known, was actually not really well known. They also had the Dino Attack, and they had two blasters. I'll start with the Dino Striker. You could like this thing was sold like for a long, long time. Like they even re-released it into blue. I've been saying re-released so many times today. I keep saying released. But yeah, this thing like at first they were like pretty popular with Ross, and they were popular at Ross for like a long time. Like into like all the discount stores, Ross, Burlington, TJ Maxx. Like up until like 2023, you could still find these. Yeah. Yeah, and those but like in terms of blasters, nothing special because it was a reflex 6 basically. With the Claw Hunter, this was like a re-release of like a different blaster. I don't remember the name. It was like a two-shot thing here in the back. This was like fairly common at thrift stores. Same thing with the other Dino Attack Claw Hunter. Yeah, these are also pretty popular like thrift stores. Oh, you can still buy them today. Yeah, it still has like a the modern packaging. But yeah, these blasters were really popular, like because you can always find them at Ross. And yeah, they're everywhere at thrift stores. I kept passing them up because I don't want them, honestly. It's basically just a reskin Reflex 6, and I think it's called the Exterminator. I don't know. He also had this Dino Inflatable. I don't think this was even sold. Was this even sold? I don't know. And then like the combo thing, which I've also seen a lot. And then finally, to end it all out, my voice is sore. Wow, I've been doing this for an hour. The X-Shot Chaos, the Rival Blaster wannabes that were mediocre. Yeah, just gold re-releases, the Orbit and Meteor, or Meteor and Orbit. These blasters, like they're pretty like I'll just use like the original colors because those are better. But like when these came out in 2019, people are wow, that was a low quality image. People are like, oh yo, sick, X shot, ball blaster, sick. And what the heck again? Uh but yeah, honestly they're just kind of just like they were mediocre because they didn't work well with like rival rounds, I believe. Um this thing like I mean, hey, it has a market if you want it. The Meteor, like just buy a Chronos. Just buy a Chronos if you want something like this. It just had this funny mag thing, kind of like the finisher. But yeah, these things were like sold for a long time, in large part thanks to the abundant of like recolors. Like got Family Dollar says a blue, white, and orange. I don't see any white, but yeah, these are like popular blue, black, and orange, blue, white, and orange. They had like the royal version. They had like the phase edition. They had like the gold ones. Phase. They had a clear one. Like these were released a lot. Very popular. And yeah, that's about it. Holy shit, nobody's in chat. Oh my god. I've been streaming for an hour. Captain Shotgun got sick. I feel bad for him. I hope he feels better. And then Shadow B popped in for like a little bit. I think he like left when I read those comments. But yeah, I'm just like ready to end it. I'm disappointed nobody even came to the stream. Like, oh wow, I've been doing this for 2 hours. I'm ready to end it. Fuck it. There's there's no need for me to stick around because uh-oh. Like there's no need for me to stick around because I just went over what I needed to go over. Talk about Nerf in 2020. And you know what? I know one thing I can mention. Nerf back in 2020 was a much different place than today. Back in 2020, it was like, you know, Elite was still popular. Full length, Nerf was still loved, like half of it. But then, thanks to Elite 2.0, Nerf's reputation was scarred permanently, like, well, near permanently. And they were just like, nobody was like giving them a chance after Dart Zone proved themselves to be a really good competitor. Like Dart Zone's already sort of competing. Like they're well known since 2016 as like a good quality competitor. But so was Xshot. So was Busby for like that long time. So was Xshot since 2013. So was Xshot for like uh since like the 2000s. Those were like the main competitors to Nerf, and it was still Nerf for nothing. It was still primarily Nerf for nothing, but it was still primarily Nerf for nothing, but um it really was until the Nexus Pro came out. Then modding like became so much bigger Nerf, thanks to Nerf being uh, dog shit. Uh, like modding becomes so much more popular, and Dart Zone became so much more popular. They're the de facto brand after that with so many blasters and like yeah, I say like Nerf hobby is more popular now than it was back in 2020. Like the golden years of Elite, like it was pretty big. I bet it was still big. Like I bet it's just as big as it was back then. And maybe even bigger. I don't know. But yeah, with lots of like pro blasters and stuff, Nerf is just like a lot more accessible now. And yeah, here we are in 2025 with pro blasters being a standard. Like so many different leagues of 150 FPS, 200 FPS, 300 FPS, and then like full length, half length darts. Uh, a bunch of other things. Cooper tired. Jesus, so much stuff has happened in that time since I joined Nerf. Like it's crazy to think. I started out Nerf like back in like 2020. My first blaster was the Elite Jolt. I was saying it was Nerf or nothing. I actually when I went to Target to buy like a Nerf blaster for me, mom said, "Hey Brian, you want to buy this like X Shot thing?" It was like the 2-pack Hawkeye and Micro, and I said, "No, mom, Nerf or nothing. X Shot is a poopy brand." Oh, okay. She still, and it took like years for me to like tell her I was wrong. Nerf is poopy. It took many years for me to be like, I'm sorry, mom. Nerf was the wrong brand. Because she was like, Brian, why do you want to get these Dart Zone things? I thought it was Nerf for nothing. But yeah, I was like, that was like a really bad time for me to get into Nerf. But for that brief moment between April and summer, when Elite was still on shelves, everything was good, leaks were popular, and like everyone's hyped for Elite 2.0. It was a good time. Everything went to shit after, and then it was like very weird, very divided community. But now, but nowadays, I feel like Nerf is a very accessible brand that is super popular with everyone. And honestly, I'm pretty sure uh, if it wasn't for like um, if it wasn't for like Nexus Pro and other brands, like honestly, with Nerf would I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just talking without having a focus. If it wasn't for stuff like the Nexus Pro, modding would still be this super niche thing, and we'd all just be bitching about how, oh, Nerf is just so bad. This hobby's dead. The hobby's not dead. It's more alive than ever. And I feel Nerf, um, hold up. And I feel like, why do I keep doing that? And I feel like with Nerf, um, trying it to be, not being like, in the Nerf being, I feel like with Nerf being in the gutter for those 3 years until like 2023 when the until like 2023 when the Strife X came out, and everyone gave them a chance again, and everyone sort of liked them again. Um, Nerf just Dart Zone was king, and yeah, lot of stuff happened. I am tired. I'm ending the stream. Screw this. I'm sorry, guys. I need to go to bed. It's like 8 o'clock. I want to watch like a movie or something. Okay, so let me move this out. Move this. I need to go to bed. Alrighty, guys. Well, unfortunately, for most of the stream, it's just been like nobody's watching, unfortunately. Why should I even continue this? Like, who is gonna watch back? Nobody's gonna watch back on stream. So I'm just gonna leave it. For anybody who for anybody who's watching back on this, uh bye hope you guys alright, I'm just gonna go. Bye guys. I hope you're doing well. Stay tactical. I'll see you guys in the next stream. Hopefully with people. Is the stream over? Hold up. Yo, is stream over or not? I'm trying to I pressed the stop streaming button. Is it not over? Hold up. Ah, frick.